Um, awesome. So yeah, can you tell me about that? So you're from San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm from Texas originally, but I've been in San Francisco for over 25 years. And mostly I work in theater, so I run the opera house here, which
Yep.
is fun. Yeah,
Wow.
so it's a beautiful place, and it's a great place if you like art because there's a lot of it here.
So thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. That's part of like the introduction. I sent out some emails to some customers that have purchased a couple of times, and I really just wanted to hear about your experience with the pens. Um, go a little bit more into about where you're from, how you heard about us, your history with art. Um, and then, yeah, I just wanted to ask some questions about the pens and how they were different to other products, which I'll
Absolutely.
guide you through just for a 15-minute chat. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, let's continue on that. So you're from San Francisco. Now, what's your history with art or with paint pens in particular?
Well, it's funny because I mean, as a kid, I was always doing art. I was teaching elementary school for a little bit, so I really loved easy art and art with kids. And then I started down a theater path, right? And I run theaters across the Bay. I have run theaters across the Bay Area, and I really wasn't doing that much art. And then in during the pandemic for us, we were locked in our homes for almost 2 years. And I really fostered a relationship with the art that I knew from before. And the reason I did was because I started customizing my own shoes and bags. And I love this company called Rothy's that I wear a lot, and they're washable and they're made from recycled water bottles, and I wanted to be able to customize them, but it still be able to work. And I wanted them to still be able to um, do what they're supposed to do, which is get dirty and then get clean, right? But
Ah,
I wanted the art to stay on it.
yes.
So I went through tons of different um, types of art with them: tie dye, painting, markers. And it was a couple years ago, maybe only about a year ago, that I found surf paints, and I was like, surfboards, yeah, those get wet for
Yeah.
sure. Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna try those. And so I ordered them and got them, and I use them ever since, and I tossed all my old markers. And I still do I do classes now on how to customize your shoes and customize your things. So, and I'm always using surf paints because I think it's a superior product when it comes to being able to be sustainable on whatever you're painting.
Yeah, right. That's really cool. So you were attracted to surf paints because of surfboards and they get wet, shoes get wet, and so that's what hooked you in. No way. And
Yeah,
with the shoes, because I'm actually thinking of painting, I've got some Nikes or Nike, however you say it in
yeah.
America. How do you say it?
Nikes.
Nikes.
Yeah,
And I wanted to paint the rubber sole, but I know
hmm,
that the rubber from experience can crack the paint. So I was
yeah.
interested to actually hear, can you paint the rubber like soles
Well,
of a running shoe?
I haven't painted. No, I take that back. I have painted the like rubber-ish soles of. So these are a pair that I've painted, right?
Ah, yes, I've seen these on Instagram. Yep.
Yeah. So I've painted these. That's me on Instagram that does that.
Very good, by the
And
way.
so I painted these, and I didn't paint these soles, but I have
Hmm.
a pair that I did for someone else where I painted the soles black because they were a white tennis shoe and they wanted a black sole. So I just did the marker around, and I didn't have a problem with it. I always wash it before I send it out and then do it again if I need to. And I
Wow.
didn't have any issues with that. And I've washed these shoes in the
Yeah.
washer,
Yeah.
toss them in,
Yeah.
wash them, and
Ah,
here they are, bright colors still.
wow. They look incredible. And
Yeah.
that's just fabric.
It's a fabric made from recycled water bottles.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you
So
put a varnish over the top of that?
I did not. I did not because that
That's
makes
just
it
surf
too
paints.
hard. That's just surf paint. Same as, let's see. This one needs a good wash. I haven't washed it yet because I just took it on vacation. But same as this.
Wow.
So I
Yeah, that's
painted these
awesome.
on the same kind of bag, and then you
Yeah.
just go in for the details, and then you can, you know, go find details if you need to. I
Yeah.
love that you can flip the tips now.
Yes.
Like I didn't know that before, and I don't know if that was prior, but I learned it just recently while watching y'all's videos,
Yes.
you
Just
know?
just and with the flipping of the tips, they are good for small, fine uses, but they're not designed to be flipped for long periods of time
Yeah.
because they pull the paint that end. But a lot of
Yeah.
artists are using the other side. But we've just come out with these 1 mil.
Exciting.
I'll show you like these 1 mil
That's
size fine.
amazing.
Yeah, so we've only got
That's great.
these in the black and the white because they're kind of the typical touch ups, and then we've
Yeah.
got some new earth colors coming out as well.
I saw those and I was looking for them the other day online and I was like, oh, maybe they're not just out yet. But I'm so excited because I love an earthy, like I also do fine work. So I'll show you all my stuff. So this one I
Yeah,
did
I want to
with,
ask you some questions on this type of surface
yeah.
specifically because
Yeah, sure.
you seem like an expert. So yeah, going back to that yellow bag,
Yeah.
um, yeah, let's have a look at that. Yeah, I can see in the flower
Hmm.
you've blended some paint.
I have. And it's kind of just a process of kind of going over it. And what I did was I just kind of went through with like lines and I
Yes.
did and so then the lines kind of started to blend together and I kind of do a rub along with it, but like as you see now it's dry. There's no like it's not coming off on your fingers or anything like that. I mean, this bag is I've had this bag I did this bag almost a year and a half ago and I've washed it twice and it's still
Wow.
working for me, you know. It needs a good wash again because like I said, I took it on vacation, but I just went through with the lines and then on the smaller little lines that come through here and then some of that I had to use something different because I didn't have those little tiny ones,
Yes.
but I was able to trace out through with some finer tip. But with the other finer tip, which I'm really excited to try yours, that's exciting. I'm gonna let that sink in. That's so exciting for me. But with these, I was able to sometimes you can use just the flip over and kind of run through. So I did touch up some of this in here with the reds with my
Yeah.
surf paints because I flipped them over and then did some of those of the new ones that I have. So that was exciting to be able to go back and touch it up. But this was mainly just you're getting those lines in there and since it's not immediately drying you have a few seconds to kind of you know like smudge it in, I guess
Just
that's
with
the
your
word.
finger?
I do it with my fingers
Yeah,
because I
nice.
don't care if my hands are covered in
Yeah.
art stuff, like it doesn't bother me. I mean, like
Yeah.
who cares?
Yeah.
I'm an artist, good.
Yeah.
So
That's a true artist doing that. I love that.
yeah. So that helps. That helps. And a lot of times I just use surf paints to color something that is a black and white or a pattern print. And I just want to add some color because I believe color is life. And so that I will say the first thing that won my heart from y'all was your neons
Yes.
because your neons actually show up neon. Like there's no doubt that is neon. And I
Yeah.
even have like I I have a bag of just neons here that
Wow.
I
Yeah.
keep all my neons because that's my favorite thing to do is
Yeah.
neon. And so but when you paint something with your neon, it is truly neon. It
Yeah.
stands out, it's beautiful. It doesn't fade into this like pastel neon. It's like yeah. So
Have you noticed it? Does it glow in the dark or anything like that? Have you noticed it in the
I
dark?
haven't noticed that, but I know that it is bright and people notice it like immediately when you're walking down the street and you have something that's neon, like I did this neon. So
Mm.
it's like a full neon with some other colors in there. I wanted this to be I'm from San Antonio originally, and our culture of a very proud Hispanic culture. And my father is, was very like, taught us to like respect those colors and to be part of that. And so I wanted this bag that was just black and white to kind of have that textured look, as if, it was one of the bags that we would get in Mexico when we were kids and stuff like that. So
Ah.
so I used the neons for that, and it just made it perfect for me.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so cool. It's that's becoming a bit of a trend is everyone just keeps talking about these neons.
they're so good.
They
So good.
say um I've spoken to a couple people now and they were like, yeah, it's just the bright pink that when I applied it, I was like, there's no color like it.
No.
That's crazy. That's good for me to hear because I love them as well. And this is why I designed them is because I found, a lot of neon colors, you need to use a spray paint. Um,
Right.
and I was like, why is there nothing in a paint pen where you can just do it in the house? And in my case, it was for surfboards, for kids
Right.
and stuff that want to color their board nice and easy and make it pop. And that was the idea. And then fortunately, that's carried over as we've expanded into this art market, is people love the neon colors, and that's
They're
fantastic.
so good. They're so good. I just I tried so many different neons, and had to like stop and
Yeah.
be like, this isn't working. It just looks like pastel, and I'm not in love
Ah,
with it. I tried Dynaflow with a paint. Even that, I could, even in their neons, it just wasn't right. I tried so many paint pens that I could go get from the store and use all the I've used maybe 10 different paint pens for neons, and I hate them all. And then I
wow.
got these and was like, this is neon. This is what neon is supposed to be. It's true to the like brightness, the like eye catching, like
Yeah.
I'm in your face, and I love that.
That's
So
fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's
it's
really
my
cool.
favorite. Yeah,
We're
you
gonna
you y'all did a great job finding that. However, whatever pigment or however you made that happen, it's it's bright, it's beautiful, it's what neon is supposed to be.
Oh, that's such good feedback. Thank you for that. We're actually gonna try and get out some fluoro blue and
Oh,
fluoro purple or violet. We're gonna try and get that out.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Because the other bag that I keep with me at all times is my rainbow colors.
Ah,
Like,
yes, the
so
primary.
yeah,
Well,
the
rainbow.
primary, like
Yeah.
I do a lot of rainbow stuff. I do a lot of custom like stuff for people for Pride and things like that.
Yeah.
And like these I painted for myself for Pride.
Yes.
And so I use those primary colors. Like that's what's here next to my desk at all times. I have my box of surf paints over there that I can go grab the full box and like choose
Did
all
you
my
get the
other
starter kit?
I did. I
Yeah, yeah.
have
So
I
yeah,
did the kit with the box and then
yeah,
all the other stuff. And some of the stuff in there, I don't do surfboards, so I'm not
yeah,
using some of the
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
that's
yeah,
in
yeah,
there. But the box itself is holds the markers perfectly.
yeah.
Um, and I can always find them. I try to arrange them in colors. I think I've thought about putting like little sections in there so I can divide them by color because I am a Virgo and crazy. But it's a perfect
Yeah.
box to hold them and to go. I love it that if I'm going to go teach a class, I can just grab the box and get out of here.
Yes. That's awesome. You mentioned before that you've tried 10 different other paint pens.
I have.
Um, so I just wanted to touch a little bit more on that, if that's okay. Is
Sure.
you feel free to mention some brands as well. That's fine.
Yeah.
What why did they disappoint you? What was it specifically when you tried, for instance, on these fabric bags or shoes that you're using? What was it that when you applied it didn't do it? Taking aside the neon colors we've established they're
Yeah.
like no other, which is fantastic. But is there anything else they did with
Yeah.
application, color, longevity, UV,
It's
fade resistant, the
it's the
nibs?
longevity, it's the washability, it's the it is possible for me to create, like especially if I'm customizing for someone else. For myself, like I can recustomize it if a paint goes away. And I did that for my shoes for in the beginning when I was just customizing for myself with other paint markers. I would color them and then they would kind of fade, and I was like, well, that's fine, I'll just recolor them, right? Um, and not just fade, but like when I wash them, because again, they're shoes and bags, and those things get dirty. Um, and so when I wash them, they would fade a lot. And so then I would be like, that's not as fun. But when I started customizing for others, I knew that I couldn't send them a product that they couldn't touch up, right? It
Yes.
has to stay when they wash their shoes. And so, that's when I started really looking. And so with surf paints, I don't have to stress about that. I wash my surf paints. I don't put them through the dryer. I don't put this shoe through the dryer because it's made of recycled water bottles. It's going to
Yes.
shrink. So
Yeah.
it's a dry outside. But I've put this through the washer many times and there is no fading that happens.
No.
Like
No.
it's bright, beautiful, and
Yeah.
perfect for when I want to wear it next time. And I really love that. I ordered so many things off of Amazon because that's all I could do in the beginning, because it was all during pandemic when I started doing this art. And then I started when we opened back up, I started going to art stores and I was finding all the beautiful, expensive products that you can do for pens that have all the colors.
Yeah.
And I was pulling those out and trying those and washing them because I need it to be able to be washed.
Yeah.
And once I found surf paints, I was able to start customizing for others because I wasn't comfortable.
Ah.
I would have to tell people, I'm happy to customize this for you, but
Yeah.
you can't wash it. It loses the reason that
Yes.
it's a good shoe and the
Yeah.
reason that it's important to,
Yeah.
to that community of shoe wearers, those of us that are crazy about those shoes. And now I don't have to say that. I'm like, wash it, don't dry it, because you shouldn't dry the shoes, period. But you can wash it and air dry it, and it's gonna hold the paint.
And how does that make you feel knowing that you've got the confidence?
It makes me feel, I mean, because as artists, many times we all doubt ourselves, right? As like, am I really an artist? I'm just putting some markers on shoes. Like, am I an artist? And especially if you're sending something out that makes you feel like, I don't know what's gonna happen when they get it and they use it, right? And I don't wanna, and so it gave me this knowing that I was sending something out that was painted by me, which in turn makes you an artist, but
Yeah.
also is going to last and going to be great for that user and for that person for as long as they have the shoe, like, or the bag. I felt like, okay, so I am creating things that are art and that can actually be used and can actually, um, be seen as art. So I had confidence as an artist of like, I am an artist. Yeah, look at me,
Yeah. Oh, you
and
definitely are.
it's been fun. That's been really fun. And um I totally appreciate it. And I started doing some more like canvassy with markers and like, drawing on other fabrics like muslin and then framing those things for friends and family and kind of creating art differently. I mean, I watercolor, and that's its own tricky business, watercolor. Whew. But with markers, I know exactly how a surf paint is going to go onto a fabric and a thing, and then I know how I can use it, right? Whereas with watercolor, you're like, it's going to go on there, but it's going to do its own thing, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, right. Well, with
Yeah.
surf paints, I know how it's going to go on the fabric. I know how it's
Yeah.
going to work,
Yeah.
and I know it's going to be beautiful.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just the usability. The
Yeah.
usability, sometimes brushes can be a bit messy and unpredictable. Um,
Absolutely.
you're just answering all the questions I want to know without me asking. So I suppose because we've only got, we're a bit over time, but I just wanted to say thank you for jumping on. But I also wanted to end with like, if you were a customer, and I love how you're from America because we do have quite a lot of organic sales from America. I've done some advertising there, but we've cut back a bit and focusing on the Australian market, but we still get a lot of American orders from just awareness on social media. And
Yeah.
we're trying to get into Amazon America because I think that would be the next step because you guys are just like we're getting bigger in Australia on Amazon, but we're always behind you guys because Americans, about 60% of you shop on Amazon. I read a statistic the other day. Is that true?
I mean, I think it's true. I definitely, um, yes and no. I think it depends on where you are and where in the country you are and what you're looking for. Like for me, if I'm looking for something um, that I'd have to go to tons of stores and want it to be cheap or want it to be fast. That's the thing I think fast. Because like
Yeah.
when I order from you, it takes a while to get here, which is fine
Yeah.
because I've got plenty of stock. I'm good.
Yeah.
But when I order from Amazon, it's 2 days sometimes.
Yeah. How long did it take? That's a great question. How long did it take to get to
Um,
San Francisco
I
from
think my
Sydney?
last order was almost 2 weeks,
2 weeks. Yeah.
like a little over 2 weeks. Um,
Has it come quicker than that before?
Possibly, I
Yeah.
think, but never less than like week and a half. It's
Yeah.
yeah. And I think it may have come like my first order, which was, I can't even remember when that was probably a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But that was back, I think, before even I was seeing you on social medias,
Yes.
and um and I also am someone who very much believes in like ordering directly from a company because you get your, that it, like I order from you because I know that I'm earning points or whatever it is, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yes.
and so I
And if
think,
something goes wrong, you can contact our customer service and we'll,
right, which was great. I had
yep.
to contact customer service once and had an amazing experience,
Yes.
and it
Oh,
was
that's good.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, so that's the thing. It's like when it's a company, especially a company that is like you all, that are a new company that's like putting out really amazing products and has a good customer service and really, you can tell, cares about the product. And I love that you're asking all the art questions on socials, and you're having all the conversations, and you're getting artists talking to each other.
Yes.
And I didn't know how much of your business was Australian or how much of it was American or what it was, but I share every time I post anything. If I'm using Surfpaints, I'm posting it. If I'm teaching a class, I'm talking about it. If I'm online, someone says, hey, how did you paint these shoes? What did you do? I want to do something like this. I'm like, well, here's how I do it.
Mm.
I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm like, hey, you want to do it yourself? Do it yourself. Be an artist. Like, get
Yes.
it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
here's what works for me. Here's Surfpaints. Here's their website. Get
Yes.
it. Go get you some Surfpaints. You know, and so I think that, when you're talking to artists or when you're talking to people wanting to use products, that's the first thing they ask. Which product did you use? Because it looks really good. And not about me, the artist. They're like, it looks good because of the product, not because, and so I'm always like, well, let's give you the product because it is what is good. I mean, I'm also a good artist, but
Yeah.
the product makes it stay and makes it work. So so I think people in America, well, I mean, and again, I don't talk to many surfers. I have very few surfer friends, but like maybe two. But and I don't know that they paint their boards, right? I'm not quite sure because I've never seen them surf. But we have the Maverick competition here every year,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
I go down there all the time. And I've watched that competition. It's chaos and crowded and amazing. But I wouldn't be able to tell you who had painted surfboards, but I could definitely tell you how many people wore Rothy's and if anyone else had them painted. Like it's what you're passionate about. And since my passion is this kind of art, it's been really amazing to find the thing that you like and really commit to using it and sharing it and getting people interested. Amazon is a great place because when you search on Amazon, you know, I looked for so long for markers. So I tried so many non-name brands, like ridiculous brands that you're like, these are the same markers as that other brand. They're just in a
Yeah.
different box. But with
Yeah.
surf paints, you have something that's really different. And I think being
Yeah.
able to talk about surf paints durability on all kinds of projects, like my kids, not my, I don't have kids, my niece and nephew, we paint rocks with surf paints. We do shirts with it. We tie dye shirts. We do a lot of art. We tie dye shirts together and then we write on the shirts, insert with surf paints. We we do
You,
canvas it. We're starting to do canvases.
when you paint on shirts, do you do any prep or anything that, or straight on?
I go straight on, but we
Yep.
put behind, well, I would say I use wax paper
Yep.
inside so that it doesn't transfer through, but like
Yep.
we go straight on. And I don't do any like I don't like a hard fabric. So like I don't want to ruin a shirt because then when I put it on it's scratchy and itchy. So I don't use like a sealant or any of that stuff.
Yes.
I found that they're just uncomfortable. So again, most of the time if I washed it, I knew that that shirt was going to fade and go away. You wear it once, but now they
So
can
you
wear the
you
tie-dye.
reckon it doesn't fade or wash out once you put it on a t-shirt?
It's not been it. I have not noticed that. And
Wow.
again, the kids wear their tie-dyes pretty often
Yeah.
and they still have like a heart that they've drawn. Or
Yeah.
yesterday I went over to see my niece and she was wearing a shirt that we tie-dyed 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I can assume she didn't just wear it when I was there. Maybe she did because maybe she's
Yeah.
respectful and kind. But it had the heart that she drew on it in I think it was the neon yellow. She really likes the neon yellow.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome.
and it really still was pretty bright.
Wow. Well, you've been fantastic. Thank you so much for all this feedback, especially on some surfaces that like we said, we're expanding. So it's really good to hear how dominant on fabric you've kind of brought up today, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I have a yeah, I mean it's great. I wash all my bags repeatedly and like not just bags, but like little canvas bags and I use surf paints on them and no issues.
so then on that last note, I would, especially being from America, to finish off, if you had to, anyone had noticed surf paints on social media or they'd seen one of our ads, they'd tried 10 other brands in the past, but they were still a little bit, what else is out there? I haven't found that perfect kind of medium that will
Mhm.
work for my surfers. Is there anything you would say to them?
I would say you have to try surf paints because you will have a saturated, beautiful color that lasts no matter what you're doing to it. I mean, of course, like everything has a time limit on everything, but your shirt will fade probably before your surf paint will.
Perfect. Oh, that was awesome. It's Jamie, isn't it?
It is,
Is that how
Jamie.
you pronounce it, Jamie?
It is. Yeah, my mom just can't spell.
No, I like it. I like it. Jamee.
Jamye.
Ye.
Just
Yeah.
like Jam Yi, if
So
you're
what's
pronouncing.
what's on for the rest of the day?
We have an opera tonight. We're doing tonight is a new opera called Handmaid's Tale. That
Awesome.
we're yeah, it's that we just ran it and now we're doing a show for just artists that can come
Yeah.
in and see the show.
Yeah.
Um, because tickets for operas are crazy expensive. So we're doing that and hanging out with some friends during the day. And I've got a table of custom work to do that I need to get to. But second art's a second job, but it's fun.
It is. Oh,
Yeah.
you seem happy. You seem like you're in a good place. So thank you for that, Jamie. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time. And yeah, I'll send you an email after this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I love sharing all my art on Insta with y'all, and I love that you reshare it. I think it's beautiful. It's nice to spotlight artists. I think you're doing an amazing job
Thank you, Jamie.
supporting
Appreciate
artists. Yeah.
that.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.